Assalamu alaikum. I'm starting our lesson for today, and our lecture is going to be about irregular verbs. This is a very essential topic in the English language in relation to grammar. While I was checking your assignment, I found that so many of you would write wrong verbs. Like I read the 2 or 3 people wrote lived, where they meant left, the past of the verb leave. So this is a very important topic that you need to pay attention to. I'm going to send you the model answers for the first assignment within 2 days. So you compare the model answers to your answers and you see where you did mistakes the most, which is going to tell you that you need to practice more in that area. Now, lots of you did not understand the question or did not read it completely. So in the first question, when it said underline the verb, lots of you did not underline. I know some of you used highlighters and they explained that to me, which is good. But others did not do anything in relation to underlining. And others did not finish reading the rest of the sentence where it says you cross out all the phrasal verbs. All the prepositional phrases. So many of you did not even touch them. They just found me the subject and the verb, and that's it. Please read the instructions of the question carefully so you do not lose marks, especially when we have a formal quiz or the final exam. Read the instructions of the question carefully in order to do everything you are asked to do and you are going to be evaluated upon. Okay? Now let's begin with irregular verbs. Now, first of all, see this cloud that I have drawn for you that says regular verbs. Now, when regular verbs, this is something I want to explain from the very beginning. With some verbs in English, to change them from present into past or into past participle, all you need to do is to add ed. That's it. Life is beautiful. This way you get regular verbs. So if you have the verb, so you have the verb plus ed. So if you have a play as verb 1, then played, ed, this makes it verb 2, simple past. Or after have, has, or had, again you're going to need played with ed. Study, studied, studied. Stay, stayed, stayed. Brush, brushed, brushed, and so on. So many verbs are regular in English, which means changing them from present into past participle. All you need to do is to add ed to those verbs. Is this our lesson for today? No, because they are easy verbs, the regular verbs. Our lesson is going to be with the irregular verbs, a list of English verbs that do not follow the rule of having or accepting ed at the end in order to be changed into past or past participle. Therefore, we call them irregular verbs, irregular forms of the verb, where their past and past participle should be learned by heart. You should study them. You find them always in lists, either in grammar books or either in dictionaries, but you need to study them all the time. Some of you would ask, Professor, what do you mean by past participle? So if you look here, a list of irregular verbs. Present, we call it verb 1, a verb with s or a verb without s. Verb 2 is the past. If it's regular, ed. But today we're dealing with the irregular, so not ed. We will learn them. Now, past participle. It is the verb 3. It is verb 3 that comes after have or has or had. You cannot find verb 3 not preceded by have or has or had. Remember the very introductory lecture I gave to you about the helping verbs? Remember the helping verbs family? We had have family, in which I told you there are 3 members, have, has, and had. If a main verb or a stative verb would visit them, then it's okay, but they should be as verb 3. They should appear after them as verb 3. Okay? Now, have a look at the list again, and here I write for you this note, study them for a quiz. You might have a poppy quiz at any moment in which you need to write, to provide verb 2 and verb 3 for any verb in this list, okay? You need to study them. Do not only just say them aloud to yourself, that's not enough, but rather you need to spell them correctly, so you practice their dictation. Yani it's not good if you know that verb 3 from blow is blown, but you don't know how to write blown, and you write it for me B-L-O-O-N. So you get 0 in this case because you did not spell it in the correct way. So practice the dictation, the way you spell them, the way you write them. Now, as you can notice, I wrote you here some verbs in green and some verbs in pink, and I left the other verbs not colored. Now the ones in green, just if you'd like to do the same thing on your book, I made them in green because verb 2 and verb 3 from them remain the same, which makes this easier for you to learn them. If we have a look, the verb bend, that's verb 1. Verb 2 is bent, and the 3 is bent. Bring, brought, brought. Build, built, built. Buy, bought, bought. Catch, caught, caught. Feed, fed, fed. Feel, felt, felt. Fight, fought, fought. Find, found, found. Get, got, got, or gotten. You have two options here. Have or has as verb 1. The past is had, past participle as well. Hear, heard, heard. Hold, held, held. Keep, kept, kept. Lay, laid, laid. Lead, led, led. Leave, left, left. Lend, lent, lent. Light, lit, lit. Lose, lost, lost. Make, made, made. Meet, met, met. Say, said, said. Sell, sold, sold. Send, sent, sent. Sit, sat, sat. Sleep, slept, slept. Spend, spent, spent. Stand, stood, stood. Stick, stuck, stuck. Sting, stung, stung. Swim. No, that's wrong. I shouldn't include a swim by mistake. I'm sorry. This is by mistake because here we have it a swam and here we have it a swum, which are different. So we remove swim from the green list. Teach, taught, taught. Tell, told, told. Think, thought, thought. Win, won, won. Okay? So all the verbs in green, to make it easier for you, their past and past participle have the same form, the same shape. They are the same, one thing, okay? Now we will move to the list in pink. They are the verbs that remain the same in verb 1, 2, and 3. So burst, burst, burst. Coast, coast, coast. Cut, cut, cut. Hurt, hurt, hurt. Let, let, let. Shut, shut, shut. And that's it. Now the rest of the verbs, they change. Therefore, you need to study them by heart. Now I want you to pay attention. Awake can have two forms, regular and irregular. For past, awoke or awaked. Awoken for verb 3 or awaked again. So it can be both regular or irregular. Now B, verb B. Now we can just write its, let's say, children in the present, am, are, is. In the past, am becomes was, are becomes were, is again becomes was. Verb 3, past participle from all of them, am, is, are, was, were, is, been. So you say, I have been, she has been, he had been, okay? And you can read it as been or as been. One is American and one is British. Become, became, become. Begin, began, begun. Bite, bit, bitten. Blow, blew, blown. Break, broke, broken. Choose, chose, chosen. Come, came, come. Do, does, or does, did, and done. Draw, drew, drawn. Drink, drank, drunk. Drive, drove, driven. Eat, ate, eaten. Fall, fell, fallen. Now pay attention to fall. Lots of you, so many students write the past from fall as fold, ed, which is wrong. Keep it in mind. Past from fall is fell, and verb 3 is fallen. Fly, flew, flown. Freeze, froze, frozen. Give, gave, given. Go or goes, went and gone. Grow, grew, grown. Hide, hid, hidden. Know, knew, known. Lie, lay, and lain. This is a troublemaker verb. Lie, and the past is lay, and verb 3 is lain. Pay, paid, paid. Ride, rode, ridden. Ring, rang, rung. Run, ran, run. See, saw, seen. Shake, shook, shaken. Shrink, shrank, shrunk. Sing, sang, sung. Speak, spoke, spoken. Steal, stole, stolen. Take, took, taken. Tear, tore, torn. And wake, woke or waked. Woken or waked. So it can be regular or irregular. Wear, wore, worn. Write, wrote, and written. This way we covered all the verbs in this list. Okay? You are responsible to study them all. You cannot be a student having your major in English language and you don't master the irregular verbs. That would be a big shame to do any mistake over here. So it's a list that should be memorized by heart. Okay? Now, practice 1 says, cross out the incorrect verb form in the following sentences, then write the correct form of the verb in the space provided. Look at the example provided for you. When the mudslide started, the whole neighborhood began going downhill. Now, why do I circle for you started? To show you that the sentence is written in the past tense verb 2. So when you move on with the rest of the verbs, they also should be verb 2, simple past. I look at begun. Is begun verb 2? No, verb 2 is began. Verb 3 is begun. And we can never have begun if it's not preceded by have or has or had. So it is wrong here. Again, because we have started in the past, we should have begin in the past. What is the past from begin? Began is verb 2. So the correct form of the verb is began. The game show contestant learned she had chose the box with a penny in it. We have had. And remember from lesson number 1, day 1, I taught you have family should be followed by verb 3. So I have had. After had, I need verb 3. Verb 3, is not chose but chosen. So I change it to verb 3. Therefore, the correct answer becomes chosen. Look at number 2. The mechanic done an expensive valve job on my engine without getting my permission. So what is this done? Done is verb 3. Do I have before it have or has or had? No, I don't. So I cannot use it as verb 3. Now the context of the sentence shows that someone is talking about something that happened with him with the mechanic. So when he talks about something that happened, then he uses past. Now what is the past from done? What is verb 2 from done? It is did. Okay? Charlotte has wore that ring since the day Clyde bought it for her. We have has, and again this is from have family. After have, has, or had, it should be followed by verb 3. Verb 3 from wear is not wore, but it is worn, worn. So we need verb 3. She has wrote paper that will make you roar with laughter. So after has again, we need verb 3. And wrote is not verb 3. Wrote is only verb 2. Change it into verb 3 and it's going to be written, written. Therefore, continue the rest of the exercises in practice number 1. I did the first 4 for you. Finish from number 5 to number 10, please. Now we move to practice 2. For each of the italicized verbs, fill in the three missing forms in the following order. Present tense, where you either add s to the verb or you don't add s to the verb, and I will explain this now. Past tense, which is verb 2, past participle that comes after have, has, or had, and it should be verb 3 then. If you look at A again, the present tense, I wrote you a note here above. When the verb is in the simple present tense, I look at the subject that comes before the verb, الفاعل. If I find it I is not here. I'm sorry. I should cross out I. I is here. I'm sorry. Delete I. Delete I. I isn't here. If I find the subject as it, or he, or she, or singular one, Mary, one Mary, the girl, one girl, the school, one school, then we add s to the verb, because these pronouns, they like us with the verb when it's in the simple present. Whereas if the pronouns are you, we, they, I, or any plural noun, they, the children, the girls, Mary and Ahmad, so if we get a plural or any one of these subjects, then the verb does not accept s. We don't add s to the verb. That's when we talk about the simple present tense. When do we fill in the space with simple present tense? If the sentence shows me habit or routine, I always, usually, drink coffee in the morning. She drinks coffee every morning. So if we have this routine or repetition, or if we talk about scientific facts like water boils at 100 Celsius, or if we talk about permanent situation like I live in Jordan, على طول, I live in Jordan, I like Mansaf, it's something permanent, I study at the University of Jordan, something permanent. Or finally, if we talk about timetable schedule, like the train leaves at 9 o'clock, the class begins at 2 o'clock. In these four cases, we need the present tense verb in which we think to add s to the verb or not to add s to the verb, according to the subject that precedes the verb. Okay? Now look at exercise practice 2, where it says fill in the three missing forms. Okay? The first one is done for you. My uncle likes, so this begins with the present, likes, so you should move on with the present, to give away certain things. He gives old threadbare clothes to the Salvation Army, like مؤسسات خيرية, something like that. So gives, it's simple present, we add s because the subject is he, singular, so we add s to the verb. Last year, the word last year shows you that we talk about the past, so we need verb 2. Verb 2 from give or gives is gave. Gave me a worthless television set in which the picture tube was burned out. He has. Now after has, the rule immediately says add verb 3. What is verb 3 from give or gives? It's given away stuff that a junk dealer would reject. That was a very poor TV then. Okay. Number 1. I like to freeze Hershey bars. That's chocolate, okay? A Hershey bar, it's 1 bar, singular. Freezes in half an hour. That's scientific fact. Therefore, we ask ourselves, we make it simple present, we ask ourselves to add s or not to add s. Because 1 Hershey bar, singular, yes, we add s to the verb. Freezes in half an hour. Once, when I say once, I relate something to the past. I remember, I tell something from the past. So once I make it past, the past from freeze is froze. A bottle of Yoo-hoo, I put it in the freezer to chill and then forgot about it. Later I opened the freezer and discovered that it had. Now after had, we need verb 3. What is verb 3 from freeze? Frozen and exploded. That made an explosion. Fine? I know the girl in lavender, whatever. She knows me too. Why we added s to the verb? Because the subject is she and she loves the s with the simple present verb. I spaced her brother before I met her. So I talk about the time in the past when I knew her brother. So I would say knew because there is a reference to the past in the sentence. I have, immediately after have we need verb 3. I have known him since boyhood. After have we need verb 3. And verb 3 from knows is known. My relatives, القرايب, like to grow things. For example, my grandmother, one person, grows poppies. Poppies kinds of flowers, okay? Beautiful red flowers. I love them. Grows because I talk about her habits of growing. But last year, when I say last year, that's a reference to the past. Therefore, we need to make the verb into the past, simple past, verb 2, which is grew. Venus's flytraps, kind of another flowers, I guess. She had, now I need verb 3 after had, which is grown, mostly tobacco plants the year before. After had, we need verb 3. And verb 3 is grown. I got to parties a lot. Often, Camille or Kamil, it's a name, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, goes with me. So often shows me a habit, a routine. Therefore, we need simple present. I ask myself, add s or no s. As the name is singular, one person, we add s to the verb. She went with me just last week. Because we say last week, then we need verb 2. Verb 2, which is simple past, from goes is went as an irregular verb. I have, after have, we need verb 3. Have gone to parties every Friday for the past month. After have, we need verb 3 again. Okay? Last example. My brother likes to throw things. We talk about simple present, that's his permanent situation. Sometimes routine. He throws, because we have he, we add us to the verb. Socks in his bureau drawer. In high school, I relate things from the past. He threw footballs while quarterbacking the team. And he has, after has, we need verb 3, thrown frisbees in our backyard for as long as I can remember. So after has, we need verb 3, which is thrown. Now you do the rest of the exercises on your own. And then we'll move to troublesome irregular verbs. They are confusing verbs. They usually make troubles, make problems for you. You're not very happy with their meanings, with their past, and with their past participle. Not only for you, but also for native speakers, people who are American or English, who use English as their mother tongue, still they find these verbs confusing. Number 1b, be in the present, am, is, are. Be in the past, was and were. Be as verb 3, past participle is been or been. Do or does is the present. Did is the past. Done is verb 3. Have or has is the present. Had is the past. Had is verb 3. Now, we're going to focus today on 3 pairs of verbs that are confusing. That's why we call them troublesome, troublemakers. They make for us some troubles just to distinguish between them and to use them correctly. Let's have a look at the first pair. We have the 2 verbs lie and lay. Lie and lay. Now, we don't want to use lie here as to tell a lie, to say something wrong as a lie. No. We want to take it with the meaning to rest or recline. You rest on the chair, on the sofa, in your bed. That's the meaning of lie, to rest or recline. Now the past of this lie, that means rest, يستريح, يتمدد, يستريح, its past is lay and its past participle is lain. Whereas lay, which is the same spelling like the past of lie, look, I draw you an arrow here, means to put or replace. يعني I lay the pencil case on the table, so I put the pencil case on the table. I place it on the table. Its past and past participle are laid, laid. Okay? So again, the first group, lie, means to rest or recline. Its past is lay, its past participle is lain. So if I lie in my bed to rest, then in the past, yesterday I lay in my bed. I have lain in my bed to rest. Okay? Whereas lay means to put. So I lay my pencil case, I always lay my pencil case on the desk. Yesterday I laid my pencil case on the desk. I have just laid my pencil case on the desk. So pay attention to this lay and this lay. If it's used with a past word like yesterday or last week or before 10 years, then you should know it is the past from lie. But if you use it with routine, okay, then it should be the lay, the one that means to put or to place as verb 1. Now, to lie, to lay. Tony lies on the couch. So he rests and reclines, يعني يتمدد يستريح. This is in the present tense. Whereas this morning he lay in the tub. He rested himself in the tub for a shower, just for relaxation. So this is the past from lies. He has lain in bed all week with the flu because he was sick. So he has reclined or lain in the bed for the whole week. Whereas to lay, we said, is to put or to place. I lay the mail on the table, or the letter, or on the table. Yani I put it. Yesterday I laid the mail on the counter. I have laid the mail, yani put the mail where everyone can see it or will see it. Okay? Now practice. Here we have 5 sentences. In each sentence, you are given 2 choices, one from lie family and one from lay group, and you need to decide. If the meaning is to recline, is to rest, then you need to circle lies or lay or lain. If the meaning has to do with the place or put, then you should use lay or laid or laid. Let's read. Martha is the sort of person who lies or lays her cards on the table. Now, what is the meaning here? She puts the cards on the table. Which one of them means to put? Lie or lay? Of course, it is lay. Therefore, we circle lays because it means to put. I'm going to lie or to lay another log on the fire. يعني I will put a log, خشب, on the fire. So I will put. So which one means to put? Lie or lay? Lay means to put or to place. Lying or laying down for an hour after supper, after dinner, after eating, helps Fred regain his energy. Here we means resting down, to take a rest for an hour. Which word has to do with the meaning of resting? Lying, which relates to lie, or laying, which relates to lay. Of course, lying is the one that means resting. I left you number 4 and 5 to do them by yourselves. Now we will come now to another set of problematic verbs that are sit, sat, and past participle sat. You sit on the chair. He sat on the chair. He has sat on the chair. Whereas set, sat, sat means to place or to put, just like lay, just like the meaning of lay, laid, laid. Sat, sat, sat with E. It means to put or to place. Let's compare the 2 groups over here. To sit, sat, 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 sat. Now I sit down during work breaks. So you sit down, which means you take a seat to rest. I sat in the doctor's office for 3 hours. That's in the past, maybe yesterday. I have, after have, I need verb 3. I have always sat in the last desk, so that's verb 3. Sat in the last desk, which means to take a seat or to rest. Whereas sit means either to put or replace or prepare. Sometimes it means to prepare. Tony sets out the knives, forks, and the spoons. يعني put the knives on the table. Put the spoons on the table. So he sets them out. His sister already set out the dishes. يعني she put the dishes on the table. So that's a past verb. They have, after have we need verb 3. Set out the dinner where يعني put and placed all the dinnerware. Dinnerware means the spoons, the dishes, the cups, everything needed for dinner. Okay? Now the exercise here says underline the correct form of the verb. Use of sit if the meaning is to rest or to have a seat, and set if the meaning is to place, to put. Okay? During family arguments, I tried to sit on the fence instead of taking sides. Now, what is fence? You know, what is fence? Like مثل السور, small wall around the house or the garden. So you sit on that, you rest yourself, your body on that place. I walked 3 blocks before sitting while setting down the heavy suitcases. Imagine someone carrying heavy suitcases like bags, حقائب. So he's carrying them, but then he feels tired, so he wants to put them on the floor. So which one means to put them on the floor? Sitting or setting? Setting down, okay? Now Charlie sat or set the grapefruit on the teacher's desk. يا ما أحسن Charlie, he likes the teacher, so he brought her some grapefruit, grapes. Now he put the grapes, the apples or the grapes or the fruit on her desk. So the meaning is put, therefore we need it as set. The past verb from set is set, remains set. Okay? Now we will come to the last group of these verbs that make us problems, the troublesome verbs, the confusing verbs. Rise and raise. The principal parts of rise and raise are, in the present we say rise, rose, risen. Now rise means to move up or to get up. Like if you rise from your chair, you rise your body. The sun rises because it moves up in the sky. Okay? So raise is to lift up. ترفع إشي, ترفعه. Okay? Like we raise the flag, the Jordanian flag. You raise it. You raise someone's salary, راتب. So that's the difference between rise, the body itself is moving up, but raise, something is being lift up, you lift it up, you lift something up, okay? By a certain energy or power, external one I mean. Now raise is regular verb. Its past is raised and raised, okay? We say raise your hand to answer the question. So you lift your hand up with some energy or power. You lift your hand up. To rise means is to get up or to move up. But to raise, it means to lift up. Now, to rise and to raise. Let's have a look at to rise. We said to move up, to get up. The soldiers rise at dawn. يعني they get up at dawn. يعني they wake up at dawn. dawn al-fajr. Because they are soldiers and they have lots of things to do. The crowd rose to applaud the batter. Batter like a kind of a plier, a kind of a sports plier. Now they rose, يعني they moved up in order to clap their hands for him, to cheer up for him, okay? Dracula has risen from the grave. Dracula has risen. So he moved up his body from the grave. You know what's the grave? القبر. Whereas raise means to lift up, يرفع. I'm going to raise the stakes in the card game. Oh my God. I'm going to raise the stakes. Stakes like a bet, like you make a bet, rihan, okay? Which is something we Muslims don't accept. Raise, lift it up, يعني make it higher. I raised the shades to let in, I can't read, just let me find it from the book. I raised the shades to let in the sun. So lift them up, مثل الكيرتنز الشades, مثل الستارة, so the rays can come in. I raised them up, so I lifted them up, I mean. I would have quit if the company had not raised my salary. يعني lifted my salary up, يعني gave me more salary, made it higher, okay? And after had we need it to be as verb 3. Now, underline the correct verb, rise if you mean get up, and raise if you mean lift up, okay? Number 1, even though I can sleep late on Sunday if I want to, I usually rise early. يعني wake up early, get my body out of the bed, okay? Some dealers raise rather than lower their prices. They raise the prices, they make the prices higher. They lift them up before a sale, which is haram, that's ihtikar. After 5 days of steady rain, the water in the dam had risen to a dangerous level, moved up. يعني the level of the water, you know what's the dam is set, and when there is lots of rain over there, so the level of the water had risen up, which means had moved up to a dangerous level. Okay? We come now to this exercise that says cross out the incorrect verb form, then write the correct form of the verb in the space provided for you. Okay? Now, while I was kneading the meat loaf, you know what's kneading? Like you make a dough, تعجن هيك فيه. Someone rang the doorbell. So if it says was, therefore it's in the past, so continue in the past. I can never use rang, it's verb 3 when I don't have before it have or has or had, so it's wrong. Make it past because the sentence begins with past, was. Make rang past. What is verb 2 from rang? It's rang, okay? My first grade teacher, so I talk about something in the past. When I was in grade 1, Mrs. Rixteen teached me. Oh my God, we don't have the verb teached me. It's irregular verb, it's not regular. It does not end with ed, but we learn it. Verb 2 is taught, not teached. So it's taught. Lula brang. Oh my God, brang? What is that? Do we have a brang as verb 2 in English? Go back to the verb bring. What is past from bring? Brought. So we fix it. We have no verb that is called brang in verb 2. It's wrong. We done the grocery. Oh my God. How can we have done, which is verb 3, if we don't have before it have or has or had? So it is wrong. When I talk about something that happened in Thursday evening, then I talk about something in the past. So I make it verb 2. What is verb 2 from done? Did. Okay? She had went. Oh, I have had. And after had, it should be followed by verb 3. Is verb 3 went? Of course, no. Verb 3 is gone. The police officer came with me. In the past, came. So I should continue in the past. When I drived home, oh my God, drive is not a regular verb. It does not accept ed, but we change its form to be drove. So verb 2 is drove. I hope this is clear enough. Now the last exercise, write short sentences that use the form requested for the following irregular verbs. Example, the past of ride. The Lone Ranger rode into the sunset. Okay. Now past of a break. First you decide what is the past of a break. It's a broke. The child broke his toy. So I used it as a broke. You can add a keyword like yesterday or last week or in the morning. The past participle of bring. It's bring, brought. But brought, past participle means it should come after have or has or had. So I say she has, then past participle from bring is brought the carpet inside. The past participle of grow. Past participle of grow is grown, but it should be preceded by have or has or had. They have already grown the field. Now past of choose, it's chose. I chose the black shirt. Present of do. Present of do either do or does. Does if the subject loves the s. She, he, it or singular. She does her work regularly. That's it for today. You need to study all the irregular verbs by heart. It's going to be a big shame if you don't know how to write, spell, pronounce verb 2 and verb 3 from irregular verbs. Okay? So, that's our lecture for Sunday. I guess it's the 4th or 5th of July, I'm not sure. And on Monday, you are requested to study this video again, write down your notes, finish the exercises on your book. I'll give you some time to study the lesson and finish the exercises on your book on Monday. I'm going to choose the names, I think, of 5 students rather than 7, 5 students, to send me their answers privately so I can evaluate their work. Okay? Thank you so much. يعطيكم العافية. Take care and goodbye.